Drake and 21 Savage surprise album. You know, I would say not the biggest surprise considering how it leaked, obviously, but or they leaked it like 2 weeks before it came out. But I'm very interested to hear. Over the last few years, a lot of people have felt that 21 Savage has been the best feature on any of Drake's projects. I personally don't feel that way, but he has held his own in surprising ways. So yeah, I'm curious to see what a full project would even sound like between these two. I have not heard a single song from the project. I've been on radio silence just for tonight. I've obviously heard some of the news and waves that it was making with some of the bars that Drake has been spitting. I haven't heard much from 21 himself or about like his contributions, so I'm interested to hear more of what he brings to the table. But other than that, I really have no idea what to expect. But from the news and from what I've been hearing, it sounds like Drake is just talking a lot of shit, which sounds about right. So let's just get right into it. Track number 1, Rich Flex. I do like when 21 talks on the track though, I'm not gonna lie. And full disclaimer, I was not a 21 Savage fan for a very long time. But he kind of changed my mind with Savage Mode 2. He definitely elevated his game. I mean, I did expect the production to be fire, and so far, I was correct. The production on the song is crazy. What? Yo, just from the album title alone and knowing Drake's history and track record with women and the way he also speaks about his past relationships on songs, and then from 21 and hearing him talking about women on Savage Mode 2, I fully expect this one to be a lot of shots and subliminals to women who have clearly heard them. That's an interesting switch up. Very 180. So far we're getting a lot of hoes, a lot of bitches. This is not a women empowerment album, clearly. Okay, another switch that I was not expecting or seeing coming, but somehow the track got even harder, at least the production. Okay. Oh, okay. Yo, say what you want about Drake. His flow and his ability to kind of like be a chameleon and rap is top tier. And the way he just flipped that money, hoes, cars, and clothes, that's all on my fingers, no. Into this is fire. Hey, that's a hell of an intro. That's a hell of an intro. Like I said, man, I think Drake is as corny as fuck as everybody else does. It's always hilarious to hear him talk tough and rap about certain things when you kind of learn more about this guy. This is also exactly what I want from Drake. This is the Drake that I like the most, when he can just give us bars on bars on bars on bars on bars, and he gave us bars on bars on bars on bars there. He just got into his bag right there. Whenever he gets to his bag, man, he's hard to be fucked with. I don't really care. Like I said, man, he can be corny as fuck, but when he gets into his bag, he shows why there's levels to this rap game. All right, Rich Flex. Crazy intro. Let's go to On BS. Just by title alone, I can assume that they're gonna be on some BS in there. Who does our production on this one? Stuff he sounded like Metro, Mike Will, kind of the usual suspects, but I could be wrong, but it certainly sounds like it. So look at the production. It's by Oz and Elias. I don't know who they are, but It's a hard track. I blow a $500,000 on new hoes. I'm a feminist. I think that's a bit of contradiction, Drake. It's a cool song. Kind of,
derivative.
just the typical song I kind of expect from 21 and Drake. Like, production was solid. It's tough. It's just a bit generic and repetitive. Let's go to this one, BackOutsideBoyz. So this one, Lil Yachty's got some production credits on it. Okay. They definitely got some Playboy Cardi vibes going on, production wise, and that little ad that he did right there. Okay. So that's where the shot came. That's the shot that the Big Baby Drum. I guess he goes by a different name now, Drum or something else. But that's what he's got an issue with. He said, what'd he say? Try to bring the drum to me. You know how we cha-cha slide. Oh yeah. This was probably like 5 years ago when Drum had a little run going on. He had a song called for the cha-cha, and then Drake kind of did what Drake does and snaked it and remixed it and then turned it into his own thing that became bigger than Drum's song. Yeah, he turned it into Hotline Bling, which I'm not really sure why Drum doesn't just sue him for, but whatever. They kind of had it back and forth. Drum took issue with it. I guess he tried to pull up on Drake, not knowing that Drake has a lot of security and his security, as he himself admitted, beat the brakes off of him. Why Drake is now kind of taking that stray little shot at him 5 years later, I have no idea, but he's clearly feeling some type of way on this album. I mean, outside of the random ass shots at Drum, who don't be bothering nobody. Man, Drum don't be bothering nobody, Drake. You got all this energy for dudes that won't clap back at him. But anyways, this cool little song. Probably my favorite one I've heard so far. That's typical Drake song. That's the Drake song that I like. Yeah, production was tough. Drake is somebody done pissed Drake off. Probably a girl. Let's go to the next one. Privileged rappers. Probably talking more shit. I know that sample, and I can't think of it right off the top of my head, but I definitely know that sample. Alright, so I looked up who sampled it or who they sampled, and it's the Isley Brothers, Ballad for the Fallen Soldier. Then I think there was another one that sampled them. It says T-Neck, Between the Sheets. But the Isley Brother one definitely sounds familiar. I'm going to check that out after. Isn't it funny how he talks so much about killing other people, but he also recently came out and was like, we got to stop the shooting. I mean, I just wanted to point that out. It's always been a hilarious contradiction between a lot of these artists. Wait, did he say I hit a privileged rapper? Hold on. Maybe he said I hate. Yeah, he said hate. I wasn't sure if he's talking about like Ice Spice, who he kind of flew out recently. Was that another shot? He said rappers be full of excuses, acting like they taking their time. There was a very, very big artist who recently took a 5-year break between new music. Who they've kind of had a little sub back and forth over the years between Drake and Kendrick Lamar. I'm not saying that was a shot, but it certainly sounds like it. It certainly sounds like it. But either way, that was a dope song. I love the sample. Obviously, I recognize it immediately. I'm not sure if it's the song, but I'm definitely check out and see if it is. Drake is spitting. I'm not feeling how emotional he sounds on some of these things and bringing up like old issues and old shit, but he is spitting. And that's one thing I cannot take away from him. Absolutely, this is the sample. But I also think I'm thinking of Jay-Z, I believe, sample this as well. Maybe off of volume 1. I want to say maybe it was. Yep, a week ago. That's what it's called. Absolute classic. Not volume 1, volume 2. I was close though. I knew it. Absolute classic. If you not heard it, go listen to Jay-Z a week ago with Too Short. Absolute classic. This is not the first time Drake has kind of sampled a bit of something Jay has already did. Obviously, he did a thing was Song Cry when he did to Marcy Projects for the video. He said Jay-Z is kind of the guy he always looked up to, that he wants to be compared to, that he wants to be better than, which he never will, in my opinion, but he's a clear inspiration for him. And this is the second time in recent memory that he's kind of reimagined a song that Jay absolutely murdered. I kind of want to hear this beat again real quick. Yeah, cool. But going back and just getting a whiff of Jay-Z a week ago kind of made me like this song less now, because that song he did with Too Short, absolute classic. But let's get to Circo Loco. This is the one that's been definitely making rounds. Pretty sure he pissed off Megan Thee Stallion on here. I believe this is the song, so let's check it out. Obviously, come on, if you don't know that sample, I don't know what to tell you. Daft Punk, come on.
Damn, son, where'd you find this?
Hold up. That drum drop, that beat drop, crazy, filthy. We gotta run that back. There's the shot. These bitches lying about getting shot, but she's still a stallion. Now, knowing Drake, I don't think he'd make such a direct kind of diss towards her. I think he's using her as kind of a play on words. He's probably talking about ass shots, quite honestly, since this whole album is basically about women and the women that have hurt both Drake and 21. And honestly, it's probably a play on words, a play on how these female women often lie. I won't say often, certain specific type of female women that Drake likes to traffic in seem to lie about getting ass shots quite often. But he's saying, but they're still a stallion, which is also another term for a very thick, well-built woman. So I don't think it's a direct shot. It's too obvious, too plain. But he's definitely using her name and her situation to put out some wordplay. I mean, Daft Punk already an absolute banger, so sampling it is kind of a cheat code, but pairing it with that kind of like house drum beat, fire, super fire. That's gonna go hard in the club for sure. Travis Scott, haven't heard Travis Scott sighting in a while for obvious reasons. Still haven't got that album, so let's hear this new track, Pussy and Millions. Another sample that I can't think of off the top of my head. Like I said, this is not a women's empowerment album. That's probably my favorite verse from 21 on here so far. The rest have been kind of but this one he stepped on for sure. He did his thing on this one. Very Travis Scott switch up there. Very Travis Scott type beat too, with like the big horns, anthemic sounding kind of thing that you would turn up to at like a festival concert. Obviously not recently, but before everything on All the Madness happened. Song's hard. I was expecting it from featuring Travis Scott, and they delivered. That song's hard. It's just good to hear Travis Scott again, quite honestly. He was always one of my favorite artists of this kind of like newer generation. Obviously, what happened at this concert and everything was super fucked up and a massive failure across multiple levels to multiple parties. He's not exempt from that, and he clearly has to pay his penance for everything. But I do hope that he gets back to making and releasing music soon, you know, because he's great at it. It's his calling. It's kind of his gift, and I don't think he should never be able to be outside again. I just hope that he learned, obviously, from the situation, and hope the whole industry kind of learned, because it just wasn't just his fault. It was everybody's fault. Everybody's fault. Let's do like 3 more. Even though this is a Drake and 21 Savage album, it's clearly Drake featuring 21 Savage, because Drake has a lot more solo tracks on here and 21 only has 1. So we're just gonna do like the last 3. We'll do the last 3 tracks. More M's, 3M on Glenwood, and I guess it's Fuck Me. We'll start with More M's. Hardest beat I've heard on here so far. By far the hardest. If you ain't fuck no rap, you a dinosaur, you ain't shit. Alright. Ain't really lying. Him at a versus would be crazy. You'd have to go with like only big names, man. Only big. Jay, Kendrick, Ye, and that's about it. Wayne, he's up there now. He's definitely up there. Him in the verses would be absolutely bananas. So I know he's speaking about somebody specific, but I'm not really sure who. If you guys know who, let me know. Definitely think that's the hardest production I've heard on this whole project so far. It's tough. That was tough. Let's go to 3 a.m. on Glenwood. It appears to be the only solo track of 21 Savage. So let's see what he can do. Normally when you hear like 3 a.m., 5 a.m., 6 a.m., you expect a Drake song where he just gets bars off his chest. And those are some of my favorite songs he's like ever put out. But he gave 21 this was. So let's see if he can live up to the high bar that Drake set for these type of songs. It took me a second to catch that line he just said. Okay, gotta watch these girls when you rich. They play games with these, you know, same pronunciation as men who work out at sea. Now is that a shot at Mace or a shot at Diddy? Because I got a love for my artists. I would never mace them. Is he saying he would never do what Mace supposedly did to Fabio Foreign? Or is he talking what Diddy has allegedly done to numerous artists, including Mace? All right. Yeah, I wasn't sure if he would have been able to do it justice the way that Drake has done over the years, but he definitely did. He stepped up to the plate, man. He knocked that out in his own specific way. Obviously, not as lyrical or as technically gifted when it comes to rapping as Drake, but in his own style and way, he bodied that. That was tough. That was a tough track. Let's get to the last one. I guess it's Fuck Me. Drake singing an outro. He always typically has a lot to say. Okay, this is Drake in his R&B bag. He hasn't done much on this album to this point. Alright, it's typical Drake fare. He always has those like more, I guess, slower, more introspective, thoughtful tracks where he can kind of let his emotions out, and definitely did that. I didn't catch everything that he was talking about, but I get the overall gist. Yeah, that's went through probably about half the album. Her Loss. Thoughts on it so far? It's a good album. It's a good album. I don't know if it lived to the hype or not, because I didn't have like that much hype for a Drake and 21 Savage album like a lot of people, but it lived to my expectations. It's kind of what I expected from them too. The bars, solid. I think for the most part they've been kind of, nothing really to write home about outside of obviously the numerous shots that Drake has taken at people throughout the album. Other than that, there weren't like a ton of noteworthy lines and bars that I can like think of right off the top of my head. The production was really solid. From everything that I've heard so far, if not expected, everything about this album is kind of expected. There's nothing like out of the ordinary. It's definitely in that Drake lane more than 21 Savage lane, but I think 21 did provide enough on this album, to be warranted. I don't think it will hit the same kind of highs that the Drake and Future album did, because that had a lot of major hits on there. I don't think there's like a major smash hit that I've heard out of all the songs I've heard so far, but who knows. But I do think compared to that collab album he had with Future, this one I think probably has a lot more like content in depth, whereas that one definitely felt more of like a collection of singles and songs that will go hard in the club. This is kind of a mix of everything. Does it make up for some of those, I would say, more subpar albums that Drake has put out in recent times? Not fully, but this is a solid outing, solid fare. I do think some of the bars and shots are kind of corny and almost like more calls for attention to the project than anything, and to kind of get talked about in media and social media. But he can still rap, man. Say what you want about Drake, he can definitely spit with the best of them, and he shows that once again. He's got a great ear for production. But yeah, that's kind of my initial thoughts and feelings about this. I will definitely be going through and hearing the whole thing in its entirety. Songs that stood out to me were Rich Flex, particularly for the multiple switch ups he did throughout the song. Pussy and Memes, one of my favorite songs I think I heard on here so far. 3 a.m. on Glenwood, didn't know if 21 had that in him to kind of do that type of song justice, but he did. But what are some of your guys' favorite songs on here so far? What do you think about it? Do you think it lived up to the hype? How does it stack up to Drake and Future? Let me know.